farmers, my name is Nasu and I'm super excited to welcome you back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be discussing how to retain your length. Alright, I've been away for like a little over 3 weeks, but we are definitely back and I'm super excited to get into today's video because it is the last video in our hair growth series. So just a quick recap, we've spoken about how crucial a routine is to hair growth, and we've also spoken about how to stimulate your hair growth, but all of this is completely a waste of time if you do not retain your length. All right, so if your hair grows by this much and your hair breaks by this much, they literally cancel each other out because your hair is breaking at the same rate it's growing at. So length retention is crucial to hair growth. All right, so what is length retention? Length retention is basically ensuring that your ends do not break off. All right, I think that's like the simplest way I can explain it. So it's maintaining healthy ends. That's basically what length retention is, because as you know, the ends of your hair are the oldest and driest part of your hair, so they are the most fragile and delicate part of your hair. Because they're so fragile and because they are pretty dry, they break off easily. So you could be doing all the things in the world to your scalp, to your hair shaft, but if you don't take care of the ends, they will break off and set you back on your hair growth journey. All right, so how can you retain your length? Number one, I recommend trimming your split ends regularly. I know that people don't like trimming their hair, we don't like haircuts, we're trying to save our inches, but let me tell you, if you don't trim your ends under the guise of holding on to length, over time that the same ends you're trying to hold on to will end up breaking off because they're dry and they're damaged and they're just fragile. So rather preempt the process and get rid of those dry, unhealthy ends and ensure that your ends are healthy and well maintained than holding on to dry, broken ends and then having those ends creep up your hair shaft and it just becomes a whole mess. Because if you have like split ends and you're not taking care of your ends, you might have to trim off a little bit more than you would have in your next trim. So that's why it's really important to get rid of your split ends as soon as possible. Next point is to focus on the ends of your hair when you're doing treatments or when you're applying products to your hair. Not in my hair right now, but let's say if this was like my hair, it will be one day. So we start our hair by focusing on this portion and then work our way up to the healthier parts of our hair. So this is where I use like my heaviest products. This is where I put the most product because it's the driest part of our hair. So focus on your ends when you're doing treatments, focus on your ends when you're applying products because they are the part of your hair that needs the product and the treatments more. And the next thing is to avoid over manipulation, but I'm going to talk about this in another video because our ends are fragile and dry. Over manipulation is literally just you saying bye to them. Legit, because you pull on them too much, they might just break off. So ensure that you're not over manipulating your ends. Ensure that you keep your ends nice and tucked away. The next point is pretty much linked to the previous point, and that is to avoid exposing your ends. The more you expose them to humid, hot conditions when it's warm or dry, cool conditions when it's cold, the more likely they are to dry out and possibly eventually break off. So as much as possible, try to keep your ends tucked in a hairstyle that tucks them in so that they're not exposed and so that they're not prone to breakage. We love having our afros out, we love having our high puffs out and all that stuff. I'd say like have a pretty balanced ratio, so like 80-20, so 80% in tucked in hairstyles where your ends are not exposed directly to the harsh weather conditions, and then 20% where they are. But every time that your ends are exposed, you need to make sure that you are really moisturizing them soon after the exposure so that they do not dry out. The next thing I'm going to talk about are basics that you already know. Deep condition regularly. Your hair needs moisture, and your ends need moisture, so make sure that you're deep conditioning regularly. Make sure you're using your satin pillowcase to protect your ends. That's really about taking care of the ends of your hair. That's really what length retention is all about. So I hope this video is helpful for you guys. Please like, share, and subscribe. Tell me in the comment section what you guys do to take care of your ends and to prevent breakage. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.